Network is not stable. Okay, at least I get a warning of that. Hopefully this will work. I don't know if anyone's gonna see this or whether it's worth watching. Doing another test, though Verizon still has not fixed their network issues, which is not optimal from my perspective. But just I want to see how this app does. This app seems to be less resource intensive than the other one, and to have fewer dropouts than the other one, and look and sound better than the YouTube app. It's a shame about the branding down there in the bottom right corner, but unless I know this thing's going to work flawlessly and that I'm going to be doing a lot more mobile live streams than I probably will, I don't know that I want to pay for this thing. So it'll just have the branded watermark in the meantime. And I don't know whether you guys are chatting at me and I can't see it or what. I'm going to pull over and see if there's any indication of that. Because this is the first time I've done this test live to the public. I've done some private tests, but that's different. So let's see. That's all a whole bunch of bullshit that I don't want to do. So there are 20 people here. That's cool. Is there a chat window where I can see? Hey, cool. I can kind of sort of see. Hey, hey, Brett. Hey, Juan. I won't be able to see the comments much while driving, but when I pull over like this, I can. Hope Joe McCraw comes in here. I'd like to apologize to him about a misunderstanding in yesterday's stream, where I think he was right to feel unfairly attacked, even though my intention was a much broader point, not aimed at him. And I did not even know that it was his comment at the time that I was springboarding off to a larger point about the YouTube comment section. Anyway, I feel bad about that. It's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing when one person is able to speak and the other person's only type. It's also a tricky thing in my defense that when you're trying to do a live stream and there's 1,000 comments there that you got to wade through and find the stuff that you need to see. Sometimes it's hard to know what's going on in context. Hey, Hal, I'm on Southern Avenue, just kind of doing a big loop around Midtown and parts. This is not really a pretty stretch here, but I thought I'd take you guys on some prettier roads if this thing works. I figured I'd do maybe a 20-minute test just to see if this thing is going to work, because the previous streams were so bad in different ways. Now it says the network is unstable. I don't know whether you're hearing what I'm saying during this. In my test last night, driving around, I went to the grocery store and I did a test stream to do that. Even when it said the network was unstable and the image would cut out for a short period, it still had my voice. So we shall see. And I have to watch this back. For those of you who are here, well, fuck, there it goes again. I'm paying for 5G ultra wide. I think I'm barely getting 4G most spots. Verizon apparently is having network disruptions, and I was on the chat with them for hours last night, and they kept promising they were humans, but either they were actually lying robots or they're absolute morons, and they were unable. They kept transferring me to sales when the problem I'm having is technical. According to the Verizon app, they started having network disruptions in this half of Memphis on the 19th of May. And according to the website, they expect it to be resolved by the 20th of May. Well, that time has come and gone. And according to their app, it is supposed to be resolved 12 hours from now. So it's going to be tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. And then tomorrow morning comes, it's going to be today at 6:30 p.m. That time comes, it's going to be tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. And I'm just not able to get anyone to give me an actual idea of, is it going to be fixed? When will it be fixed? Will my bill be adjusted because I've been paying for the ultra mega fast wireless mobile data that I'm not getting? Maybe I'll drive to the Verizon store and see if anyone's there and become a problem in their face. And I might go to the T-Mobile store to see what incentives they might have to tempt me away. Of course, I had T-Mobile about 10 years ago, and I couldn't make a phone call from my own damn house. But hopefully they've upped their game in the last 10 years. I did a Google search last night, and T-Mobile is supposed to have the best consistent 5G coverage in Memphis. But then you get people saying, I can't get anything at my house, and I'm right here in the middle of the city. So there's what the ratings say and what the reality is. Let's see what people have been saying. We are not near Graceland, Alex 2112. I am not driving a red Barchetta. I'm driving a silver Golf, Volkswagen Golf Turbo, which is fast enough for evading the big cars hunting us down. Hey, Hal, thanks for that. It's hard to scroll on this thing. I'm parked. I'm not driving while scrolling. We are not near Graceland. There's a song Mark Cohen did in the 90s called Walking in Memphis that everyone who does not live here seems to absolutely love. Everyone here groans and rolls their eyes. We hate that song, but one of the lines is, I followed the ghost of Elvis from Union Avenue, followed him up to the gates of Graceland. And if you were to walk from Union Avenue, which is about 2 blocks north of where I'm at right now, to Graceland, you would not make that trip. You would get killed somewhere halfway in. I saw someone else in the comments yesterday of the live stream saying that they stayed in the hotel by Graceland, and it was just horrible. Yeah, you never ever want to stay anywhere near Graceland in Memphis. Graceland is right by the airport. It's just the absolute dregs of town. What I can show you real quick though, Alex, is I'll show you a place. Elvis did drive down these streets. I'll show you, well, I won't show it right now because it's on the way to Stax, but the place that built Elvis's supercycle in the 70s is not far from here. But Elvis did drive down these streets, but he did not live near here. Actually, if you watch that test drive 2 I put up the other day, the one where I'm downtown, at the time that I go under the big overpass for the convention center, and then I'm underneath the bridges to Arkansas. Right on the right side of that street where those bridges are is where an apartment building used to be before the bridge was put in. And that was where Elvis's family first lived when they came to Memphis. Though they were sharecroppers who just came here. It was probably a pretty squalid apartment, and that building was torn down in the late 60s to put in the interstate bridge. So, but yeah, he lived there. But Union Avenue here, he came a lot. In fact, this area where I'm at right now used to have the Jungle Room, which was a great big huge themed drive-in with like potted palm trees and exotic ferns and stuff, and girls would serve you wearing leis, and Elvis hung out there a lot. Of course, that's all gone. I'm going down Union Avenue right now, where you do not want to walk from here to the Ghost of Graceland, to the gates of Graceland, or the Ghost of Graceland, which seems equally apt. I'm going to see if the Verizon store is open for me to make some complaints in person later, and I'll show you where the Sex Pistols played here back in 78, 79. Verizon is open, so when I end this stream, I know where to go. Mwahaha, because their online support is for shit. And then just second when I get to where the Sex Pistols played. I'll pull over a little bit and see what people are saying as much as possible. That's the downside about this. If I were to, when I do the real historic stream, I think I'll probably ask Nikki to be my co-host for the day, and she can watch the stream on her phone while I'm talking, and she can tell me what people are saying and questions people have, so that I can drive safely without looking at the screen. I think that'd be good for everyone, particularly if any really ambitious young Memphis police officers were to watch one of these streams and say, hey, he was looking at a screen while driving. How can we ticket him? So right here where this Taco Bell is, I just pulled in this Taco Bell. This is where the club was where the Sex Pistols played back in 78, 79. Ooh, can you feel the history dripping off the Taco Bell? It's a particularly bad Taco Bell too. Don't go here. The one on Poplar is much better if you must go to Taco Bell. Actually, I'll show you a place to go instead of Taco Bell. Interesting note though, right here is the rear of a mansion that you might have seen as I was pulling into the Taco Bell. You might have seen the front. It's now yet another high-end restaurant, but it was the 19th Century Club, and before that it was someone's private residence. Union Avenue here used to be full of mansions like that. This was where all the rich people built their homes, and due to some misguided notion of progress, all but that mansion and one other building, which is no longer recognizable as a home, were torn down in the 60s and 70s. And so now we have Taco Bells and things like that. So Memphis tore down a lot of its prettiest history to put up bland, generic businesses like every other town in the world. Here's Methodist Hospital. Here's one of the many very large hospitals in Memphis. We won't do a tour of that. But I'll take you to, I'll show you something cool up here if the stream's still working. And I'll show you where to get a good taco if you want, or any good Mexican food if you're in this part of Midtown. And someone was asking in the stream yesterday, and I apologize for forgetting your name, though I did reply in the comments to the stream yesterday about places to stay in Midtown. We are technically, or to stay in Memphis, walkable, nice neighborhoods, and I said Cooper Young and Central Gardens. If you're going to do Airbnb, that's where I'd suggest. If you're going to do a hotel, I'd suggest the Holiday Inn over by the University of Memphis area. There might be some others. I'm not that familiar with the hotels in Memphis because I don't stay at hotels in this town. But most of the hotels are either out by the airport or way out east, or some of the very, very nice, very expensive ones downtown. But if I were planning a trip to Memphis, given the low cost of living here compared to other cities, I would find an Airbnb in Cooper Young or Central Gardens, which is just south of where we're at right now. I'm going north towards Poplar Avenue, where we've been before, though a different stretch. I'm on Crosstown now, which we also were at the other end of when I was going down North Parkway the other day. All right, so we are at a light. Let me glance at the chat briefly. All right, so not a lot of chats. So I don't know if the stream's still going or whether people got tired of me rambling about some city they have no interest in. But it's a pretty day to be rambling. It's only 90 degrees. That's pretty cool for June here. Next month it'll be in the 3 digits, and I'll be miserable almost all the time. There's a point in mid-July through mid-September where I consider seriously becoming nocturnal. I think it's a very logical approach. If I could get everyone else to go with me, we could really make this city a lot more pleasant during the most beastly bits of summer. Beastly bits of summer. That sounds like if Roald Dahl. Ah, crap. Is this thing on? Is this thing on at all? Dang, nabbit. I'll pull over and check some things. All right, sorry, the phone overheated and blacked out. And I don't know what to do about that other than wait for winter to do the stream. I had the, I'm only doing 24 frames per second at 720. And I had the phone mounted with the air conditioning vent pointed at it, blowing pretty cool air, and I was hoping it would work. It just gets so freaking hot there on the dash in summer in Memphis. Maybe if I could find a way to have the suction cup be up here and extend back so the phone was here in the shade. Let's see if I can make that happen on the next one, next test. Anyway, there's a Taqueria El Burrito Express here on Crosstown. It's closed today. It is fantastic despite the terrible name El Burrito Express. Really, really great taqueria. We're about to end this because of the stream situation, and I can't do the whole thing holding the phone. Right down there, that huge building there, that's Crosstown. And now it's condos and apartments up top and public rooms in the bottom and really nice restaurants. Well, some of them are really nice restaurants, some of them are kind of crappy, but it's a nice space. And that building, which maybe we'll get closer to in some other stream, was originally built to be the headquarters / warehouse of the Sears Roebuck catalog operation. So if you ordered something from the Sears catalog, that order came into this building and they had all the stuff pretty much here and they shipped it out from here. And I would show it to you more now, except I don't think the stream is going to last much longer with the heat issues. Hey, Scott. Yeah, maybe I'll show Crystal Grotto if we ever do a Memphis East thing. But at the time that building was built, and you can't really see the full scale of it from here, it was the largest office building in the world in terms of interior space. It has more space than the New York, the Empire State Building, etc. inside. It's really, really huge and very Art Deco, and the top turret looks very much like where you'd summon Zool for Ghostbusters. And I'll show that in a future video, but I think the quality of the stream is going to be seriously impacted here. I can't scroll now, so I don't know if it's even working now. I think we're gonna have to end this here. God dang it. Let's see. There it is. What's that? Gel freezer wrap. Maybe. Is it still going now? Hey, Gringo. I'll go a little bit longer since Gringo's here and Martin's here. You know, I want to show Scotsman what 90-degree summer looks like. So maybe we'll go down to the Sears building and I'll get out and walk around a little bit. And then I'll go become a problem for Verizon in their face. As you can tell by some of the things you see around, this has been an industrial street for a good long while. Coming up on the right, actually, here's some Elvis for you. Let me see if I can get to it. This building here looks like a movie theater. It's now a church, but this was the biggest movie theater in Midtown Memphis for a long time. And Elvis used to rent it out. He'd just rent out the entire theater and bring his entire entourage there at midnight. And the High Tone is around here, though I've passed it, which is a great live music venue. So if you guys are in touring bands and you're looking for a place to play, you know, 1 to 500 people kind of place, the High Tone is the place to go in Memphis today. So let me find a place to park and we'll walk around a little bit. I think I'll park over here where one of my favorite restaurants used to be, which is a sad statement. There was a place over here that did fantastic New Orleans food, which is not a thing you find very, very often outside of New Orleans. And sometimes you can't even find fantastic New Orleans food in New Orleans. It's easy to go wrong. So when you find it both very good and local to oneself without having to drive 6 hours to New Orleans, it was a cause for celebration. But they did not make it through COVID, sadly. Like many restaurants did not. All right, Crosstown Concourse. As you can see, Art Deco, anyone? The network is not stable. Well, that's fine, neither am I. Church of Elvis, it's actually Latter-day Saints, Jehovah's Witnesses now. Hey, Dustin. Well, there was no notification because really, in terms of timing it, this was just when I got in the car, waited for the air conditioner to be on enough to stand to do a stream, and I just started it because it's just a test. But the notifications on YouTube are for shit. That's why I try to do a little bit of advance warning on the official streams. Usually the night before, sometimes the morning of, just because the life getting in the way. But this is a good practice, hopefully, for when I do the real thing, because I'm going to try to drive to locations and get out and walk around, not just show things from the car. Because you can't see as much from the car, obviously. And as we just discovered, the dashboard of my car is a terrible environment for the phone to be, because it gets so damn hot. So to my Scottish peeps and my English peeps, this is summer. It's 92 degrees, blue skies, light clouds, nice wind. I was in London in August when it was 120 degrees here, and it was like 70 during the day, and people were complaining about the heat wave. You sweet, sweet summer children. And you know from all my comments how much I love the UK and find it all, charming and admirable for the most part, aside from the plain baked beans. But your notion of summer is just so quaint to us in the hotter climes. I do understand why you guys are always so anxious to get off to the Algarve or anywhere really. I'm not going to go closer because I don't want to film these children's faces, but this is the start of summer in Memphis. School's out, and they've got the fountains on, and the kids are running through them. So I'm not going to go in today because I'm pretty sure I would lose Wi-Fi being inside that much concrete. But got a radio station here. I think they're upstairs, but the sign is here. The Mag Grocer. Wonder why they're angry. And a whole bunch of different restaurants going down. Now this is Sunday at 1:25 as I'm filming this, so not all of them are open. But this is a fun place to come. They've got a Global Cafe down there. It's kind of interesting. They have rotating chefs come in. It's kind of like pop-ups, but different cooks come in from all over the world and get a spot there for a while. So you never know what global cuisines you're going to have on offer. You can walk in one day and find the best Ethiopian food in the city. You go back next month and the Ethiopian's gone and it's all Jamaican. So if you're in Memphis and you want a break from fried things and barbecued things, that's not a bad place to go. There's a bakery there. I've heard good things about it. I've not been. I think there's ice cream farther down. And it's very walkable, and they've got a real cool 60s retro looking parking garage. Bouton, modern Vietnamese eatery. Have to check that out at some point. I think that's where the pizza place used to be. There was a place here that did Neapolitan-style pizzas, and they had a pizza oven brought in from Naples. You know, the wood-fired thing. And I don't think they survived COVID either, unless they're just moved farther down, and I have not chased them. I was disappointed in it because they had the authentic dough and they had the authentic oven, but they were trying too hard to meet American tastes, because they had like all these pizzas on their menu with like 6 to 8 toppings, you know, pepperoni this with pepper that, and all. And a real Neapolitan pizza cannot support the weight of all those ingredients. Otherwise, the inside never cooks. It just is raw dough with a puffy edge and then a soggy soup in the middle. There's a reason a Neapolitan pizza should pretty much just be a margherita. If you want anything else, there are different styles you can support all those toppings. You want like 18 toppings on a pizza, go with the Detroit style. You want 1 or 2 really great combinations, go with Neapolitan. If you want the same few to up to quite a few, New York style can support that. But if you want everything, you know, go Detroit or Chicago Tavern. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap this one up here because I need to watch this back and see how good / bad it is. And I'm going to go complain to Verizon, because I should be able to do this. Aside from the heating issues on the phone, I should be able to walk around the city and stream in 1080 without any dropouts in these major parts of the city that I'm doing these in. I'm not actually out in the sticks. I'm at some of the most commercially developed parts of town, driving through some of the richest neighborhoods in town. Not at the moment. Actually, this is a very lovely neighborhood once you get a block or two away from this street. This is a great neighborhood going back this way. A lot of houses built in the 20s. A lot of bungalows and a little bit less fancy arts and crafts kind of stuff. Great neighborhood all the way from here to McLean, and then you're in the neighborhood of the zoo again. So I think this is where we're going to have to end this, and I'll see if anyone actually made it this far, whether it was worth going this far. Thank you, Gringo. I will try. That's my goal, is to do more like this. I just need to get the technology working. So I've got 2 major issues right now. I've got the phone overheating, and I'll see what I can do about placing the phone more in the shadow so it's not exposed through the windshield. And then I've got the issue of Verizon not actually giving me good mobile data that's consistently able to support even 720, but I should, according to my plan, be able to stream 1080 all day long, 4K in some spots. But that's the promise.